Hey guys, M13 here, and the topic of this video is Flash, the Flash, the superhero, the Flash, or any speedster for that matter. Okay, we're gonna dive deep on this one. I put a lot of thought into this. I've been a superhero fan since I was a kid. I used to have a comic book collection consisting of hundreds of comic books. I lost it all when I moved to Taiwan, which is sad. Yeah, I had the very first Spawn, Todd McFarlane, I think his name is, Spawn. Anyways, let's stick on that. It's so difficult for me to stay on topic. The topic is the Flash. Okay, I don't know where to start. There's so many different things. Let's start with the fact that in the beginning of the show, in the first season, when he would run, his clothes would rip off, and everybody's like, that makes sense, and it does make sense. If he's moving super fast, his clothes should burn off pretty much instantly. So they designed a frictionless suit that could withstand pretty much any speeds, because it's frictionless. It doesn't matter how much he rubs it together, it's not going to heat up and burn away or deteriorate. Okay, that's good. I'm with you so far. But here's the thing. The Flash and other speedsters, like in the Marvel movie Quicksilver, they often will move people. And the thing with that is, get on your side of the road, car. Why drive in the center? He wasn't even in the center. He was more on my side to begin with. I don't get that. It's not. And he's driving slowly. Just stick to your side. Here's the thing. Let's talk real life. If someone could move as fast as the Flash in real life, yes, their clothes would burn off quickly, and they would need a frictionless suit. Okay, good. They would never be able to touch anyone ever. They wouldn't be able to move someone. They would never be able to save someone using their super speed. Why? It's the same reason that you can't. There's a maximum speed that a roller coaster or a race car or anything can move at. What happens when pilots move at a little bit quicker than the speed of sound? They Mach 2, Mach 3. There's limits to what the body can withstand without blacking out. And the interesting thing about that too is when someone moves at and some of you are thinking, yeah, well, maybe he's only moving at people can survive Mach 2, Mach 3, 3 times the speed of sound. We can move at those speeds in jet planes. So maybe the Flash is only moving 3 times the speed of sound, which is really fast when he saves someone. Here's the problem with that. You can move that fast, but you have to get to that speed gradually. You can't go from, if you were to put someone, say, in an elevator, and then for the elevator to go from 0 to Mach 3 in a fraction of a second, they would literally it would be like getting hit by a wall moving at faster than a bullet. They would just liquefy. And yeah, so let's just focus on the brain, for example. The brain is suspended in liquid. It's pretty much, imagine a brain inside of a jar floating in liquid. That's how your brain works. And if you were to move that jar quick enough or hit it with force, just a punch, just punching someone in the head can make their brain slam against the side of the jar, the side of their skull, and cause brain injury. Imagine your head, or imagine that jar being motionless and then getting moved at even Mach 1, or even a couple of hundred miles an hour, going from 0 to a couple hundred miles an hour. That not only is that brain going to hit the side of the jar, it's going to liquefy. It's going to be crushed against the side of the jar. So when you see Quicksilver running in and out of an exploding house and moving everyone out of the house faster than the speed that an explosion can travel, yeah, he could do it. But then once everything goes back to normal time, instead of a bunch of kids standing around looking around going, whoa, where am I? They'd all just drop dead. All of their brains would be crushed, and they would all just collapse dead. Okay? So I enjoy watching The Flash on Netflix. It might be my favorite superhero show on Netflix, and I watch all of them. I watch all the Marvel ones, I watch all the DC ones, and there's a half-naked girl on the right-hand side there. Well, actually, I think I'm pointing right at her. So you guys can ignore what I'm talking about for the next little bit and just focus on the half-naked, very attractive girl. I'll look at her as we go by. I'm distracted as well. I'm not going to talk about The Flash anymore. Hi, old man. Woo! Oh, there'll be another one here. Oh, she's hiding. Oh, no, there she is. She's in the corner. You guys probably saw it better than I did because I got the super wide view on the GoPro. And why is this car cutting to the front of the line? Why? So, yeah, back to The Flash. Yeah, so especially in that instance and many other instances, you see the Flash grab somebody and move them, and they're like motionless. They don't even realize they've been moved. That's how quick they're moving. Like that would just, every organ in their body would be destroyed. Okay, so I enjoy watching the Flash. So to watch the show, I have to kind of create in my own mind a reason why he's not killing everyone. And the reason is because this isn't the reason I came up with, and I don't think it's never been explained on the show, but it's something that can kind of make sense of the nonsensicalness of it. Is the fact, or not the fact, sorry. My theory is that the Speed Force, which is a force that lets him go fast. It's kind of like it extends to what he touches. Okay, and this kind of makes sense. Like, he has some kind of force. It's kind of like a force shield around his body, and it kind of puts his body in a form of stasis, so that the intense speeds don't destroy it. I want to go left here, actually. Yeah. So if you think about that, then that would make sense. Then if someone's standing still and he touches them, the Speed Force would, because he's in contact with them, it would envelop them as well, putting their body in a form of stasis and protecting them from the high speeds. It'd almost be like not so much speed, but like time, you know, because if people control time and they freeze time and then everything's frozen and then they move it and then they unfreeze it, then it's in a form of stasis, so it's protected. So that's my kind of theory, and I recently saw him move on The Flash. He moved a group of people. It wasn't even like it wasn't even one person. It was like 5, and he I think they all held hands or something. And it's like, well, how does that work? You know, because like if you're holding someone's hand and then they shoot off at the speed of sound, I'm pretty sure they'd either like rip your arm off or, you know, but again, the stasis rule kind of works in this situation. Like maybe by them all touching, their bodies get frozen in like a, what is this truck doing? This truck's like passing me. I'm speeding because it's a given that I'm constantly speeding. Even when I'm going slowly and talking with my crippled hand, I'm still speeding. I'm doing, I think, 10, 15. I'm doing 15 over the speed limit, and that truck's pulling away from me. So he's doing like, what, 30 over the speed limit? And the funny thing is that if any Taiwanese people watch this video, they're going to be complaining the heck out of the fact that I was speeding earlier when I left that light. And then they're going to say nothing about the Taiwanese guy in the big heavy truck doing 30 over the limit. Anyways, back to the topic. So how the heck does he move a group of 5 people? And I think they were like holding hands when they stopped. So they were trying to give you like, if they all hold hands and he can move them all. Okay. So stasis. That's what we're going with now. But if he had a stasis, then he could wear any clothes, and the Speed Force shield would protect any clothes that he wore, so he wouldn't need a frictionless suit. And actually, in the later episodes, you get other speedsters that well, actually all of them, like Barry, and then the girl, Quick Jesse, and Kid Flash, and other speedsters. They run in normal clothing, and their clothes don't rip off. Their shoes don't smoke, nothing. So So it kind of seems like in the beginning, in season 1, they didn't really have a reason why, and then someone came up with the idea with the Speed Force, but then it kind of negates the need of the frictionless suits. Yeah. So that's that. Another thing too is I hate how weak the Flash is, but I understand it. You need it for a storyline. You know, someone with super speed would win a fight against pretty much anyone who doesn't have invulnerability. In other words, if you were to take the Flash and put him against, oh, I don't know, the Hulk, you know, one of the strongest superheroes in the whole superhero universe, someone that gets stronger and stronger with time, they would like, the Flash would destroy the Hulk in about a second. Like, the whole fight would last 1 second and the Hulk would be dead, because the Flash could literally just take a spoon, and with super speed he could spoon out his eyes, and then like maybe run to his house and get one of those longer spoons that you used to like stir drinks with, like the really long, like a cocktail spoon or whatever. What the fuck? What's this guy doing? What are you doing? We're all doing like 30 kilometers an hour, speed limit 60. What the fuck? People. Yeah, so yeah, he could run home, get a longer spoon, and then like stick it through the empty eye socket and like stir up his brain, and then he could like run home and get like a breast pump for a woman that is lactating, and he could hook that up to the empty eye socket and then pump out all the liquefied brain matter into the breast milk pump, and then he could go and like feed it to different babies, and then they'd all become Incredible Hulk babies, and it would be really cool. No, but yeah, but you get my point. Like, when he moves so fast that everyone else stops moving altogether, like they become motionless. That's how quick he can move. He can move almost at the speed of light. That's how he's able to travel through time with his running. So how can someone lose a fight against someone else when the other person is standing motionless for the entire fight? It's not possible. So I hate it every time. Like, he'll be running around and he'll get punched, and it's like it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. And then some of you are like, oh yeah, because they kind of see the direction he's running in, so they just take a swing at that area. Do you know what that's like? That's like a truck, like one of these trucks moving. Put me and a truck in a parking lot, a big parking lot, and I'm on a, maybe not even this, maybe something more maneuverable, like a scooter, like a small scooter. And then the rules of the fight are, I can go any speed on my scooter, but the truck can't go faster than 2 miles an hour. And then the truck has to try to hit me. I could literally just go to one side of the parking lot, turn my scooter off, and sit there and watch the truck approaching me for like a few minutes, and then I could start my scooter up and then drive over to the other side of the parking lot and then sit there and wait for a few minutes. Like, that is comparable to what fighting the Flash would be like. You know, like, and then the truck, doesn't matter if the truck can see how quickly I'm going by it. At 2 kilometers an hour or 2 miles an hour, he's still not going to be able to hit me, even if he swerves for me at the last second. You know, like, and it would be slower than that in an actual fight against the Flash. They wouldn't be moving at 2 miles an hour. They'd be moving at like a fraction of a mile an hour. Like, even a quickly swung fist is going to be moving really slowly. So slow that he would have to purposely run into the fist to get hit. So any speedster in the comic book universe is overpowered to the point where they can't really be done. Like, so you just kind of have to give up on that. It's kind of like Superman. The fact that the only way they were able to do Smallville was by adding kryptonite into like every episode. They had to create it, like, they looked at the comic books and they're like, yeah, this sucks. This doesn't make any sense. How can we make an interesting show about a guy that literally cannot lose? How can that be interesting? Well, they should have looked to One Punch Man is what they should have done. But they went another route, and they just made a new kind of Marvel universe where kryptonite is like, you can buy kryptonite at 7-Eleven. You just go down to 7-Eleven. Yeah, I want some of that worthless meteorite gems that fell here a few years ago. Could I have some, thanks? Yeah, that'll be 50 cents. Yeah, so that's the only way they could, you know, so I don't know they can't really do anything for, well, actually, the only thing they could do, and they do it on the Flash, is make the enemies all have super speed too. And that's pretty much what they do. The main enemy of each season is another quote-unquote speedster. So that actually makes sense, because that gives him something to fight against it that's on his own level, so it makes it interesting. But I hate it. Oh my goodness, I saw an episode the other day where they were chasing a guy in a car. And he wasn't on the Autobahn, he was like driving through a city. So we're, you know, maximum speed of a bad guy driving through a crowded city would be what, like, oh, I don't know, maybe like between 60 and 90 miles an hour, if you're like a really good driver. So for some strange reason, it was taking the Flash a while to catch up to this guy that was doing like 60 miles an hour. But the Flash can run to Italy and pick up pizza and run it all the way back to America for like lunch if he wants to do that. I think there's episodes where they're like, oh, I like something, and then he runs to a different country and buys it and comes back again and gives it to the person. Okay, you can do that, but he can't catch up with a car doing 60 miles an hour. I hope I'm not ruining the show for you, because like I said, it's one of my favorites. I kind of think the Flash is like Quantum Leap mixed with superheroes. And I love the old Quantum Leap show. And that's kind of what it's turned into. Very Quantum Leapish, if you haven't seen it. Anyways, I'm at the motorcycle shop, and that's the end of this video. And please subscribe, like button, hit the bell for notifications. Send me nude photos if you're hot, and preferably female, but these days, you know, I could probably swing either way. Peace out. Yeah. Oh, I stole it. That's okay. I was parking anyways. Did it on purpose. I did it so it wouldn't roll backwards. End of video.